Mr. Rossetti, are you recording?
I am. I'm trying to keep my microphone off because our building alarm is going off. So I apologize for any sirens you hear in the background.
Okay, but we're recording.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. My name is Virginia Harger. I'm the chairperson of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission. Today's Wednesday, January 11th, 2023, and the regular meeting of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission being conducted via Zoom is hereby called to order at 6:02 p.m. This meeting is also being carried live on YouTube. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And I invite those participating remotely to do the same. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. I'll start off with a roll call vote, and if you could please identify yourself verbally that you are present when your name is called. Commissioner Kelly?
Present.
Commissioner Parkins?
Present.
Commissioner Motto?
Here.
Commissioner Laskos?
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Onofrio?
Present.
You're on mute, alternate Commissioner Onofrio.
No, he said present.
He did? Okay, because it looks like it said it's muted. Some other commissioners broke up.
He looks like he's frozen though.
Commissioner Harger, Mr. Rossetti, our administrator,
Present.
Ms. Castro, our assistant administrator,
Present.
Mr. Panico, our consultant,
Present.
Ms. Fernassos, our recording secretary.
Present.
Okay. Attorney Francis Teodoso, our corporation counsel. You're on mute.
Present.
Thank you. For the record, Commissioner Tiki and alternate Commissioner Usel are unavailable for tonight's meeting, and alternate Commissioner Onofrio, you're being seated for Commissioner Tiki. Couple of points before continuing with this evening's agenda. Mr. Rossetti will act as the Zoom meeting host. While commissioners will be able to make comments throughout the meeting, the chair asks that you please identify yourself and wait to be recognized before speaking to make sure we're not all speaking over each other, to make sure our recording secretary is clear as to who is speaking. The first agenda category is a legal update from Attorney Teodoso, and the first specific one is 7 Riverside Drive. Attorney Teodoso?
You all know 7 Riverside Drive as the John Getz project that we negotiated number of apartments and dedicated space. That stipulation was presented to court on Monday, accepted by the court, and it was also buttressed with language that says if the terms of the agreement are not complied with, that we can ask the court for injunctive action. The matter is over.
Okay, you were breaking up a little bit. I don't know if any of the other commissioners had issues, but you were saying at the very end, the matter is what?
The matter has language in it that says that the city's position
I could see your
can be
lips moving, but it's not all.
I hear him. I hear him.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is, do any commissioners have any questions for Attorney Teodoso?
Just to review for me, that was where we stipulated 6 apartments, I believe, and then common space.
That is correct, yes. And the
And the court,
diagram became part of the stipulation in court.
the what became part of the stipulation?
The diagram that we had, the plan that was.
Okay, so, and gets agreed to this, or the court is
Yes.
stipulating? Okay,
The stipulation, stipulated agreement presented into court yesterday, Monday.
good. Thank you.
Okay. Second is Rivian on 2 Mountain View Drive.
You made a decision with regard to the Rivian application that you had. It has been challenged. There are briefs that have been filed by both sides. City has prepared its record to be presented to court. We do need to have the transcripts transcribed before the court record will be complete. So there are 2 items on this. One, to submit the entire transcript and the record to court, which is our responsibility anytime there is an appeal. And secondly, because there are countervailing claims, Rivian claims that you acted properly. The appellant claims that this was not a proper action by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Without expending a lot of energy on behalf of the city, I am asking the commission if we can just join with the applicant Rivian on its brief, because it does back up your decision.
Okay. So is there a motion to accept Corporation Counsel's recommendation to join in on the defendant's brief?
I make that motion.
Who is contesting this, if I may
Commissioner
ask?
Kelly? Is there a second?
Yeah, a question. Ruth asked a question. I have the same question.
Who is contesting this?
The dealership on Bridgeport Avenue.
Mario Daddario?
Yes,
The Dario or Crabtree or both?
uh,
Not Crabtree, I'm sorry. What's the Honda dealer?
no, it's not the Honda dealer.
Just one.
It's the Cadillac dealer.
Okay. On what grounds, if you can just quickly,
Was there a motion, a second to Charlie's motion?
That in a nutshell, that the action that you authorized is a violation of the Connecticut general statutes, which say that only somebody with a license to be a dealer can do the actions and take the activity that Rivian is proposing.
Okay, so we're on the side of the city is also in favor of.
Well, you
Or-
voted in favor of it, so I don't think we could argue against it.
No, but I mean, like the,
Before we go on, I just wanted to alert Mr. Rossetti that Mr. Onofrio had jumped off. He's back on. Please promote him to a panelist.
so
And
did
I
the,
apologize because for some reason my audio is coming in and out. So if you can't hear me, wave something.
we can hear you fine.
At a meeting, I'll call you back.
Ruth was saying something and I didn't hear a thing.
Zone
So
meeting.
I'm just curious,
So-
I know I was not present for the vote on this particular application, so I apologize if I'm asking things that were already known to most commissioners, but did the opposition, did they speak at the public hearing regarding this issue?
No,
You didn't? Interesting.
No,
No, and apparently wasn't there Attorney Tito, so didn't the applicant have to appear before inland wetlands or some other board, and that was noticed?
ZBA.
ZBA, that's it, ZBA, and that was noticed beside our meeting as being noticed, that a public hearing was going to be held, that ZBA meeting was also noticed, and I don't believe the plaintiff had appeared at either one for comments. Okay.
Interesting.
All right, did somebody second that motion?
what was the motion?
Elaine, I can't hear you again.
We were.
No,
talking-
there was no second to the motion. I interrupted to ask what this was about before we passed a motion to accept it.
Okay. I'm gonna try and go on my cell phone and pick up the YouTube because I don't know what's going on with my video here. So if we could just recess for a second or two.
Can you just go on Zoom on the, you know, sometimes Commissioner Harger, if you take your audio, your video off, it may help the
Broke up.
reception.
Can't hear you.
I'll text you.
where's the plug going?
Goes in the back of the machine. I don't know if a wire is caught.
Yeah, I keep
Hang on, we're
freezing
gonna
up
do a little
too.
technical thing.
don't know which wire it is down here.
This one. Pull it out, follow it. Oh, it's got a kink. It's gonna be hard to get it in and out. So let me just
No, I can get it in.
try turning off video. Really?
I lost you guys.
There appears to be internet problems. I think if more than one commissioner is having this issue, it's got to be.
Leave it alone. Oh.
Yeah, I keep freezing up. I don't know if you
Right.
guys can hear me, but I keep
Uh,
freezing.
Can you hear us now, Commissioner Harger?
Can somebody say something? Ruth, I hear you laughing. I hear Tony laughing. Maybe we could continue. Ruth had suggested that I turn off my video, so. we'll
Sometimes
try
that helps the feed.
Anybody else having any problems?
Yeah, I keep freezing
Okay.
because it's a
All right,
commissioner
the
Onofrio. I don't know if you can hear me.
Who-
Commissioner D'Onofrio is having issues as well, Commissioner Harger.
Okay, must be this side of town. One more time, who seconded the motion?
No one has.
Nobody.
Oh, no one. Okay, so Commissioner Kelly made a motion to approve Attorney Teodoso's recommendation that we join in with Rivian on their brief. Is that correct, Attorney Teodoso?
That is correct.
Okay, so is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that, Commissioner
Okay.
Matt.
Thank you, Commissioner Amato. So on the motion, I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Kelly? He's connecting to audio according to the screen. I'll go on. Commissioner Amato,
Aye,
are you a thumbs up?
yes.
Okay,
Hey,
okay. Commissioner Lascos?
Aye.
I heard you. Good. Commissioner Onofrio?
Hopefully you hear me.
I hear that. Okay. And one more time, Commissioner Kelly? Commissioner Kelly, I don't know, I have a message on the screen that you're connecting to the audio. Can you hear us?
He's going in and out as well.
Yeah, he might have stepped away for a second. I don't know.
No, he's sitting there.
Now he's there, just
Yeah.
it's fading in and out.
What do we got, sunspots tonight?
Oh, because I don't have him on my screen at all.
Attorney Teodosia, while we're waiting for Commissioner Kelly to come back, is it proper for me to vote on it even though I didn't vote on the original approval?
Well, you have to have made yourself aware of the record. If you looked at the minutes and you know what the commission did, then you can vote on it. If you don't, you should abstain.
Okay,
All right, and Commissioner Parkins? Are
I
you
will abstain.
abstain? Okay.
Well, Commissioner Parkins sat in on all the discussion, that actually the decision that led up to the appeal. Didn't you, Ruth?
I don't think so. I don't think I was present for the discussion.
Hmm.
What was the date of that?
Kelly, what was your vote on this motion?
What was the,
Oh,
what was
you
the
had a
date of
thumbs
the
up or
approval?
down?
I don't have that in front of me.
Ay, ay, ay. Ah. Let's see.
I vaguely recall it, but we have so much on our agendas that it's hard to recall everything.
If you want, I'll get off and look at the record and come back on.
This is because we can't get Charlie.
I'm on now.
Okay, all right, so what is your vote on the motion that you made?
We stand by the decision.
All right, so you're voting aye?
I'm voting aye, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the motion has passed with a vote of 501. Okay, Attorney Teodoso, is there anything else that you need to?
No, I don't have anything else for the commission
one?
this evening.
Okay, there was a third agenda item talking about the city sewer capacity. but we'll postpone that update from Attorney Teodoso until our meeting next Wednesday, the 18th.
Yes, I have an arbitration proceeding tomorrow, so I didn't get an opportunity to prep that for presentation.
Okay, any final comments, questions, or concerns for Attorney Teodoso while he's with us?
Nope. Have a good night.
Okay, if not, thank you, Attorney Teodoso.
Good night, everybody. I hope your reception is better.
Good night.
Good night.
So too, otherwise it's gonna be a long night. Okay, so next are applications for certificate of zoning compliance for signs. I understand from Commissioner Amato that the zoning subcommittee met to review them. And for the first one, Hartford Healthcare, Commissioner Amato, what is the recommendation of the zoning subcommittee?
Matt, Ruth and I and Alexandria met on 1/6, and we are not in favor of that particular sign being in the state right of way, or it appears to be close enough, and it's not their street. They're not on that street. So it's more of a directional sign. I think we had another
Well, wasn't it applied for as a directional sign?
well, it isn't. Yeah, I think it has an arrow on it.
The locational aspect, though, you're correct. Directional signs are permitted, but they have to be set back from the street line. From the curb line, a minimum amount, but also it's in a PDD, so it has to be set back, I believe, 10 feet from a property line.
But it's not their property.
Their property.
It's part of the overall PDD, though, wasn't it?
No,
Oh,
No, there's a diagram that Ms. Castro can scroll
Oh,
up.
that's right. That was occupied by another building and it was not part of the PDD. That's correct.
Yeah, that piece of property on the corner where that has Staples and the other, the Dogtopia, is not part of that PDD that the 15 Armstrong Road property is part of.
Can you just give me 1 minute? Seems to me, I know we had special provisions in the sign regulations for directional signs.
what really a directional sign other than,
I know, but the intent was, I think that they could be off the main site.
Does an arrow on it make it a directional sign, Mr. Panico?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I think the question in my mind was that logo constitutes advertising and that's not allowed.
that's exactly what it is. It's advertising.
Yeah.
The advertising aspect is not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
To tell you the truth, I think this is not a good idea to start to permit these.
You'll have them all over the place.
Yeah.
yeah, we had another, I forget what it was, proposal, and they wanted a whole bunch of signs on Bridgeport Avenue.
That
that
was
was-
Chase, wasn't that Chase?
That was online bank. I mean,
Chase
Something.
Freedom, wasn't it?
I just don't remember, but
Commerce and Bridgeport Avenue.
right. So if everybody could do that, it would just be littered with signs up and down the road.
Right.
absolutely. Okay.
So I'm thinking even if we could allow it, we don't want to.
That's right.
We're not in favor of it.
Yeah, it's not like we have to allow it. So, Mr. Panico, did you come across anything?
Not yet. It's been a long time since I looked at these sign regulations. But I know we did have provisions. Freestanding sign, directional signs.
I also don't know how we can approve something that's on the state right of way. We can't approve a sign to be placed on the
says-
state right of way.
On the directional, oh, not on the state highway, no.
Well, that's where they're proposing it.
Paragraph 44.8, directional sign on any lot subject to approval of site plan, one freestanding directional sign necessary for public safety or convenience is permitted not to exceed blah, 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 blah. No containing no advertising, giving only the name and directions to not more than 2 establishments located at other premises. So if that sign were on the private property and it met the criteria, you would have the ability to approve or disapprove it. So I
Well,
just wanted to
doesn't-
clarify it for you.
right, so it doesn't seem to meet the criteria in any event.
Well,
Well,
not if it's not on private property. It's in state right away, you said?
Well, it's not clear. So Alexandria thought it was,
Well, that's another deficiency that I noted. We don't
Yeah.
have anything that shows the precise location of it.
right, true.
Or approval from the PDD owner to place it there.
If it's on the private property, then yes, it's part of it's on the PDD identified property and it would need some sort of authorization by the property owners.
Mm-hmm.
So as it stands, it's not acceptable.
Correct.
Well, it's their actual address is Armstrong Drive, not Bridgeport Avenue, and people would use their GPS pretty much. They're out a little out of the way there, but so that's why they would like a sign out on Bridgeport Avenue. But we actually didn't even like the sign, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're down the street behind the trees,
Right.
They're the next property down,
right
correct?
there. Yeah,
St. Vincent's, that's the
Right.
one right there.
yeah, it used to be St. Yeah, it's St. Vincent's, part of Hartford Healthcare. So, all right, so is there any further comments or questions for Commissioner Amato? Is there a commission that would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to deny.
Okay, there's a motion to deny from Commissioner Parkins. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the second is from Commissioner Amato. So on the motion made by Commissioner Parkins to deny, seconded by Commissioner Amato. Is there any discussion? Okay, so on a roll call, Commissioner Kelly,
Aye,
so that's an aye to
deny.
deny, right? Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Onofrio,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion to deny has been approved by a vote of 6-0. Second application is Breeze 2 Smoke Shop. Commissioner Amato, what's the recommendation of the zoning subcommittee?
We asked that it go back to the drawing board. I thought it was too loud, too gaudy, too many colors. So Alexandria was gonna get back to the applicant and tell them that we're not recommending it and see if they could redesign.
So I do have an update.
Ms. Castro, do you have an update for us?
This is the updated version from the applicant, who I believe may be online for any questions, but this would be the updated version.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be much attempt to be consistent with the other signs in that complex.
Absolutely. I was going to comment on that as well, Mr. Panico. That particular Shelton Square went through a whole exterior remodeling within, I think it was the past 5 years. And they made a lot of effort to make sure that all the exterior signage was complementary to each other. And I think this is not at all complementary to the existing signs. And if anything, it's got to be changed. So this is image capture on the screen is from September 2018, but they're the font kind of selection on the existing ones are very simple. I don't care for this particular sign at all. What do other commissioners think?
Well, it's an improvement over what they had. And we did talk about the fact that most of the signs are simpler and black and white, black for the most part, which we prefer, but we did allow there are some exceptions to that that have been allowed.
In this shopping center, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, on that particular updated one that's on the screen, the bottom right corner, looks like it's rear lit. Is that the case?
Well, let me just check if the applicant is online.
If anything, I would just recommend that it go to all black letters.
would it be possible just to have the Breeze 2 in red and Smoke Shop in black? I mean, we have the sports thing next to it that way, and there's another one.
Yeah,
Mhm,
there are several businesses with black or red.
mhm.
Not with the colors that they have. It's just all.
The other thing I think we should look at is that the height, Breeze 2 is 18 inches, the other one, Smoke Shop, is 20. So if anyone is not comfortable with that,
That's basically 3 feet. I'm not quite sure what the signs are. They don't look 3 feet.
no, the one on the screen, the height of the letters.
Yeah, but you add them both up, it's 3 feet,
Oh, yeah,
38 inches.
right. So Alexandria, do you have any, the applicant on the line?
I believe so. Let's see. Alex is adding him in.
Okay,
and is the size within the regulation for,
It's 15.
all sides.
long.
it's staff check into that before putting this on the agenda.
What was the question?
There was, Go ahead.
how does it fit within the regulations, the overall size? The square footage for that size store.
In other words, is the length and the height appropriate for that area?
All right,
If I had to make a guess, I would suspect it probably is,
Mhm.
but that's just a guess.
yeah,
This points up again, why in plan development districts, it's important to get from the applicant an overall signage plan so that the applicant can set up parameters for what the signs can and cannot be. Because the applicant, as the landlord, has more control than the commission actually does.
That's
Mhm.
right.
We have to start being a little bit more adamant when we have a multi-tenant arrangement to get a sign plan that kind of establishes some of the outside parameters, excuse me.
Mhm.
Right, right.
Well, I thought we
Excuse me,
did
or-
with this center when they were doing the redesign. It's up to the landlord, though, to enforce that. And
Right.
he needs, before, when he's signing a new lease, he needs to inform the tenant that there's sign regulations, that they can't just go out and put anything they want up there.
Right.
So the onus is really on them. They're not following through on the original discussion that we had with them.
So, is it,
We sent in a request to the applicant, if he could just accept to be able to answer any questions if he is able to hear me.
Mhm. I'm sort of feeling that it may be a good idea to table this particular application so that staff can reach out to the landlord to see.
Well, he has a banner up there right now.
Right, but for a permanent sign as to what exactly kind of conversation did they have? Did he provide him with the guidelines so that this would be in conformance with the other retailers or not?
Is this a chain or is it just an individual outlet?
This is their second shop. I believe they have another one outside of Connecticut.
So it's not a chain.
Okay.
Is this the actual name of their business, Breeze 2 Smoke Shop, or is it the name just Breeze 2 and it happens to be a smoke shop?
Their name is Breeze 2 Smoke Shop.
What's on their application?
Breeze 2 Smoke Shop.
Mhm. It's not somebody doing business as Breeze 2 Smoke Shop?
How they applied to us was as Breeze 2 Smoke Shop.
Okay,
I don't know if it's a lackadaisical configuration with the graphics, but if you look at the word Breeze 2 in the blow up and look at the word Breeze 2 on the facade, the lines in the blow up show the letters going up and down, and on the actual sign elevation, it shows it pretty much all horizontal.
yeah, it looks like the
I'm not-
one on the top is italicized, where
Yeah,
the,
that's what I was trying to figure.
yeah, the representation of it on the front of the building does not look like it's italicized, so
Correct.
seem to match. It
And
could,
the letters on the size on the building show them stopping virtually at the edge of that tan panel. Whereas in the detail, it shows them higher and lower than the tan panel. And that goes for the smoke shop wording as well.
Mhm.
So-
Okay, well, as I suggested, it may be a good idea to table this so that staff can reach out to the applicant and get all of these questions answered.
Yeah, to find out exactly which one they're putting up, the one that shows on top or the one that shows on the building.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing my sense is that we're not crazy about the red and green together.
Right,
That's true.
Yeah. Because we really had said tone it down and this doesn't,
seem to fit the bill.
All
Okay.
right, let's make a motion. I will make a motion to table this application so staff can work better with the applicant and the tenant and perhaps the owner of the complex.
I will second that.
Okay, so there's a motion to table from Commissioner Parkins, seconded by Commissioner Kelly. Before we take a roll call vote, if City Hall staff could include Mr. Panico in any of their discussions and meetings with the applicant. Okay, and so
Okay.
the motion, the roll call, Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto, Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Onofrio,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, so the motion to table has been approved by a vote of 6-0. All right, the third application is Assurian Tech Repair. Commissioner Mata, what is the recommendation from?
yeah, we had some, comments about it, but we reached a consensus that we approved that sign.
Okay, so this is a new owner going into this, or just a change of name?
That I don't know. I think it's a new business, different.
You break, I fix, down at the bottom of the old sign, you could see it was by Ashurian.
Oh, so they're just a name. Yeah.
So in addition to the storefront, there's also, the application also includes the monument sign. And also something on one of the windows of the door. So going to the sheet, it has a door panel. All right, that one there. It says in red, remove existing vinyl, phone number, store hours. Okay, so did the sign committee look at that? And
Actually,
We
did not.
did not, but it looks fine.
Yeah.
okay, so
We have been a lot more permissive in doors and windows. In fact, when people have come in with that information on the main sign, we said, no, move it down, put
Yeah,
it on
the
the
door.
door or the window.
Yep.
okay, so what they're requesting, as shown on this particular sheet, is, sheet 3.0 is appropriate and everyone is in agreement on that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and then if you scroll down more to sheet 4.0, this is the front elevation.
That looks like it's an interior sign,
It does. It looks like it's the count from the counter.
right?
Yeah, that's a counter interior.
That's fine. We don't have much
We don't-
jurisdiction on
No,
that.
we don't do that. Keep going down. Or maybe it's the other way around. But this one is, yeah, I think they're trying to get across it was lit. So going up, all right, there's a monument sign.
Mhm.
And the new one would be on the left. The existing is on the right.
Right.
Okay. Only thing I could say is I would strongly urge the landlord to maybe do a little switcheroo of the society and the little barn ones and move them up and put Sugar Rush and Asurian down. There is absolutely no visual separation, it would seem to me, from Strong Start, early care and education with Sugar Rush and Asurion. And it looks like one big store or one big tenant. So if they flip those two, that I think would break it up. A
Or
bit.
if they just put a border
Something
around
that
the
they were
Shurion.
mandated to do.
Yeah, but the tenant's hands are kind of tied in that regard.
No,
I mean,
it's the landlord. I don't
oh,
know.
yeah,
if
this would have to
appears
be the
in part of
landlord,
the
right?
lease that this is the spot that they get assigned, or is there some change that can be made? But I'm telling you, this graphically looks like one big white space with the black and the red one at the bottom, and I think those should be moved up.
They could very simply solve it by putting a black border around it.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
I don't think they'd want to rearrange all the
Yeah,
signs.
and then
may
it would be
a-
more in line with the Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
as the red border
Would
around it.
divide it.
Yeah, that's
that
an
would
excellent
divide it.
suggestion. So, all right, but what the way that it is existing right now, is there any other further questions or comments for Commissioner Motto on this? All right, is there a motion for this particular application?
I'll make a
Yep.
motion to approve.
Okay, there's a motion to approve from Commissioner Parkins. Is there a second?
I'll second Commissioner
That's
Onofrio.
Commissioner Nafrio or Lascos?
Onofrio.
Onofrio, okay. And so on the motion, do roll call, Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Nafrio,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion to approve has passed by vote is 6-0. Okay, number 4 is the Shell gas station on Old Stratford Avenue. Commissioner Motto, what do you have about this from the zoning subcommittee?
Yeah, we didn't have a problem with it basically because it's mostly just a change of brand. However, Ruth pointed out, noticed that they were planning to illuminate the
Yes.
sign.
That's
We-
a lot of illumination.
Yeah.
Which part of the one are you referring to specifically, on the pylon sign or the canopy?
Canopy, I believe.
Yes.
Canopy, right?
So we were not in favor of the illumination, didn't see a need for that.
Oh, okay, the portion that's just the shell where it says nighttime illumination?
No, the whole stripe, all that striping is illuminated as well.
Oh, I
The
see it
the
now.
yellow is illuminated and the red is illuminated,
Okay,
except for the face that faces the building.
okay,
And the logo is illuminated. Currently, none of it's illuminated on the Beep
I see.
Sunoco sign.
Okay. Can you pivot
Canopy.
that particular, rotate that sign that's up on the screen right now?
It's hard to turn. I tried to turn.
I don't think,
That one right there, click on that arrow. that
I don't
round-
have access to do that on mine.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
No,
okay, well, is the applicant?
the applicant
Okay,
is
so it's
online.
there. So the question I would have then, is there a way of reducing the illumination so that you do get some nighttime illumination, but it's maybe not as bright?
So the only thing that's illuminated
For
is
the record.
my name is Carolyn Parker, 3 Lorien Ave, Worcester, Massachusetts. So basically the red bar is illuminated and it just reflects onto the yellow. So the only thing that would be illuminated would be the shell pectin itself. The white part would be opaque. And then the red, as you see in that photo right there.
Not the yellow.
The yellow is not illuminated, just the red, and it just kind of
Oh,
glows or
okay.
flows off of it.
So the red outline.
The red, well, the whole shell, I'm talking about the fascia.
Mhm.
So the whole pectin, yeah, see that just the pectin is illuminated and then the red bar is illuminated, not the yellow, not the whole yellow thing. It's not a,
Okay. Is it possible to reduce the illumination at some point?
you know, it's LED lights, so they're either on or they're off, I guess.
Well, you could have
I
different
suppose, I mean, what's that?
You could have different wattage, couldn't you?
That I don't know.
I think so.
I mean, we can ask for that. I'm not sure of that. No one's ever asked me that.
I'm not sure why it needs to be illuminated, to be honest with you. The shell sign on the monument sign is very brightly illuminated. It's a fairly large gas station, so I don't think it's like hiding in the background there.
No, it's very close to the road.
I just don't think we need all that illumination for a gas station.
It's too bad because the canopy was really made more acceptable. The one that's there now is a very busy canopy. This is not it.
Yeah.
This is not it. The
It's a Sunoco gas station, right?
Sunoco station canopy is terrible.
They
Yeah,
have
that,
Visually.
NASCAR advertising on
you
it.
don't like the rainbow NASCAR?
No.
I think it's part of our package. It shows you what the logo looks like. When you do that Google thing, if you notice, that's 2011. So it must have been a Hess back in the day.
It was, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically going from many colors to two colors, well, white, if not white's a color, but
Is
if you
there
look at my package, there's drawings showing.
Actually, you're coming back to kind of the design that Sitco had there to begin with.
Yeah, with the
Right.
Except
horizontal
the
bars.
coloration is different.
Yeah, everybody, like for instance, Mobile had those big 3D fascias on their canopy. They're taking them out and they're just putting an LED downlighting on the perimeter of the canopy, and it just basically shines
That
down.
picture is terrible.
Yeah, it shines down onto the fascia.
Mhm.
Now, if you allow that, you should allow me what I want.
That's not lit.
No, it's not. So,
Well, if the illumination is not allowed, then it'll just be different. Obviously, they're not going to spend the money for that. It would be a flat fascia like you see there, and it would just be the yellow and red stripes. And then we would like, the pectin at least to be illuminated.
which is the shell.
Right.
Right.
Okay. All right. Could you just clarify on the pylon sign, besides obviously the where it says that the gas price is 24-inch LED, none of
Yeah.
the rest of those are going to be illuminated, rear lit, interior lit?
Well, I believe the whole sign is internally illuminated.
Yeah, is it just the one sign, one price that gets shown?
Yeah, just the one price. They went from having the three prices to just show the regular price.
Okay, that's good.
And it's not 234, but we're getting closer.
Yeah.
Not that close.
Can you show the
So we're
logo?
we're reducing the square footage of the sign by 22.6 square feet. So that's a plus,
Mhm.
because the price sign doesn't have to be as big.
Right.
And
Is the width of
Sunoco-
the sign the same?
Yes, everything is the same. They're just taking out the Sunoco with the arrow through it and just going with the the small square pectin.
Mhm.
Well, Sunoco, they had multiple price panels.
Yes, well, back in the day, you used to have three prices. Now everybody goes to one price. The only time you'll see two is if there's diesel at the property. So this obviously doesn't have diesel there.
Can you explain the size difference between the Shell logo on this sign and the size of the Shell logo on the canopy?
Wait a minute. Yeah, the one on the canopy, this is 5 feet and the one on the canopy is 4 feet.
That's a big
So
logo.
this is a 5 by 5 and this on the canopy is a 4 by 4.
Any other commissioners have any other comments? I don't really think that the illuminated shell on the canopy is that a deal breaker for me. I don't. How did the
Yeah,
other
and it, you know, I'm not sure that I should know the hours of operation. I should have known that, but you know, the canopy will shut off when the place closes. I don't know if it's a 24-hour, but you know, traveling from, you know, it's not offensive to the eye, I guess I should say.
Well, there is a hotel located right behind it. So there are people whose window will be facing that building.
Well, it's not on the rear of the we're only doing 3 sides. They never put the illumination on the rear because it's
Are you-
The westerly side faces toward the hotel.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
the longer side or the short?
Short
Shorter.
side. The
Oh,
short
alright.
side on the end towards Bridgeport Avenue, towards Bridgeport Avenue.
Isn't there some screening there? Natural screening? With
The hotel goes up. See how high the hotel is?
oh, okay. I see that
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
I close my eyes and I can't see anything. So
Yeah, I'm thinking of that cliff that was there. So,
You brought up the hours, though. We're gonna go with the illumination, which our sign subcommittee was not in favor of, I'll say, but
Mhm.
it certainly should only be on when business is open.
right, I can search
Is it-
that.
Can you, wouldn't it be just as well to have the canopy shell logo be only facing the road and not on the short ends?
Well,
You have on the one side on the short end, you have the pylon anyhow, and on the other side, you're obscured from traffic visibility by the landscaping. So I'm not sure it's very effective for you.
well, I mean, they come up with this. You know, it looks like you are in a corner lot, which, you know, makes you want to have an additional sign. The
It's really not
placement
a corner.
no,
It's really not a corner lot.
no.
I mean, it's on a corner, but there's no traffic that goes along that side street except for the folks that are going into that gas station.
And the pole sign is on that side anyway.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there
Well,
should be, you would get a lot of identification from people getting off the highway by the pylon sign. And the shell on the canopy would just reinforce it on the long side, but on the short side, really, there's really a need for it. So, Mr. Bianico, would you, if the shell is taken off the short side, what about the yellow and red? That would continue to go around?
That part's okay.
Yeah, okay. So you're
Not
getting,
illuminated though.
no,
Correct.
right.
I
Could the
think
applicant
it'll
representative,
soften the whole canopy.
it will. Can the applicant's representative sort of point out where on this sheet it says that the whole pylon sign is going to be illuminated from within? I don't know if I'm missing it or what, but
well, if it's currently illuminated, we'll maintain the illumination.
okay.
Right now, there's already, I mean, I'm looking at the same thing you are from 2016, and there were 4 LED price signs, a Dunkin' Donuts, and this photo was from daytime, but at nighttime, that whole sign would be illuminated.
Okay.
It's internal illumination, and with LED, the numbers are brighter during the day and they dim as it gets darker. So it's not offensive.
People will definitely know what's there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay, what's the recommendation for the commission? Is there anyone that wants to make a motion?
If we could get a sign on the short side, on the opposite side, And then relocate possibly the shell down to this, corner near the freestanding sign. So get at least 2 shell pectins. I would like that. I can understand why I don't need one on the short side because, but they did have 3 when it was a BP.
But they weren't illuminated.
I don't think that would, could we go back to that? You had a picture up before that showed the relationship between the gas station and the apartments and the hotel rather.
Yeah, we just gotta go down the street.
Yeah. Can we get
Sorry.
the, oh,
She's backing up.
I'm trying to determine whether you would see that sign.
Because of the cliff. I see you. All right.
It's so far back and you never see it from the traffic coming.
Right.
up.
You're already in the gas station. You either went
Yeah.
by it or you're there.
And let's face it, 99% of their business comes from the traffic on the road that's on that road every day.
Mhm.
Okay.
If it's anybody that gets off the highway because they're looking for gas, they're going to see their whole sign from the other side. So
Right. So are we,
I don't have a problem with it, but it's just not going to be very functional for you.
Okay.
so,
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
okay, specifically what, Peter? What about the pylon sign as is?
As is,
And how would the canopy be treated?
as proposed.
Which specifically yellow and red going all the way around and the one shell?
Yes,
And is the shell to be illuminated at night?
yes.
Okay. All right.
It could be illuminated during business hours.
Right.
Business
Yeah.
hours.
I mean, if it's 24 hours, it stays on 24 hours. Otherwise, at 11, it would shut off. They only keep, security lights on at that point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Only during business hours. All right.
And I apologize. I don't know what the hours are. I should have known that.
Okay. All right. So Commissioner Laskos has made a motion to approve the pylon sign as presented. And on the canopy side, to have the yellow and red borders going around with one shell on the long side facing the road, and the shell on the canopy would be on during business hours.
The hours are 5 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Is that an accurate representation, Commissioner Laskos?
Yes,
Okay. All
And
right.
only the logo would be illuminated
Yes.
on the canopy.
The shell. Yes.
Okay.
Just the shell.
No, I don't think that's what Commissioner Lesko said.
No,
Yes.
he didn't. That's why I want to clarify it. He said as
Right.
proposed.
I propose, which means the whole thing is illuminated. Am I correct?
I clarified it as the shell.
Just as the shell
Just the
logo.
logo portion.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So is there a second to Commissioner Laskos's motion to approve the pylon sign as presented, to have the yellow and red go around the canopy, and only the shell on the long side illuminated during business hours?
Commissioner Kelly, I'll second that.
Okay, so on that motion, we'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
okay. Commissioner Nafrio,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion has passed with a vote of 6-0.
Woohoo!
Okay, thank you. Have a good night, Ms. Parker.
Now I'm going to a hearing in Lexington, Massachusetts.
Look
Oh.
at you.
You're the modern day Paul Revere.
And Mr. Kelly, I'm glad your son's okay.
Thank you very
Are
much.
we?
Take
All
care.
right, next one is Bagel Basket, 350 Howe Avenue. It's may also be known as Bagel Brothers and Company. Ms. Castro, Commissioner Motto, what information do you have for us?
Yeah, the only thing that we object or suggested, perhaps it could just simply be Bagel Basket and leave off the fresh bagels.
Is this replacing the pizza sign?
Yes,
Yeah, that retailer or that restaurant has left the building. So, yeah.
There is an update from the applicant. When they went to register this name was already registered. They did send in new information. If I could just get my screen. New name is now Bagel Brothers. They took the recommendations from the commission, and this is the updated version.
That's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, question I had
This is what
was,
they want to do now?
yes, this is the new revised submission. Question I have is across the top, it says 84 inches, but on the page that had the sign information, it said 108. So they're reducing the width of the particular sign,
Yes.
but they're keeping the height as 24 inches.
I'm still a little confused. This sign is going to replace the pizza sign?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, that.
Well, that was one of the things that we were requesting, was that the bagel basket signage be made smaller so that it wasn't as wide as 108 inches. We thought it should stay within the confines of the door frame,
Yes.
which
good.
this does.
Good, okay. Any other questions for Commissioner Amato about this? Does everybody understand the updated sign? Okay. Hearing no other comments, is there a motion on this particular application?
I'll make a motion to approve the sign as is.
Okay, there's a motion.
I'll
from
second
Commissioner Kelly,
Commissioner D'Onofrio.
a second from Commissioner Amato to approve the sign, the revised sign as submitted. So I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner D'Onofrio,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion is passed by a vote of 6-0. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to old business. We have application 22-24, Dominic Thomas for Shelton Realty Plaza LLC, 265 Bridgeport Avenue. Assessors map 92, lot 19 for planned development district on 0.67 acres for 4,060 square foot retail and office building with a service station and on-site parking. This particular application did not have an office building. The second floor had been removed. That was brought up when this particular application was, public hearing for it was held on November 16th. So I want to make sure everyone is clear on that. And some might take service station as a meaning repairs and such. That is not the case. This is just the retail convenience store with
Yes.
5 pumps, gasoline pumps. So we did have the public hearing on November 16th. A discussion was held by the commission on December 13th. And a resolution has been prepared, which was sent to all the commissioners. So I'd like to ask Mr. Panico to present the resolution, and we'll have discussion and questions and comments from the commissioners following. Okay.
All right. This is a report resolution for consideration and hopefully adoption at tonight's meeting. It's about application 22-24, the petition of attorney Dominic Thomas Jr. on behalf of Shelton Plaza Realty LLC for initial site development plan approval and adoption of a PDD for a convenience store and retail gasoline sales at 265 Bridgeport Avenue. And it's currently in a restricted business RBD district. The applicant or the petitioner proposes to establish a planned development district on a 61,260 square foot, that's 1.406 acres, site fronting on the northwesterly side of Bridgeport Avenue, which is Con Route 714, at the corner of Cott Street. The site is in a mixed commercial land use area with an office building abutting the westerly property line and other commercial uses to the south along Bridgeport Avenue.
Excuse me, Mr. Panico.
Yes.
Just want to ask staff, do you have a copy of the resolution that Mr. Panico is reading to put on the screen? Okay, okay, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, it went away. Okay. So you could scroll down. Keep scrolling. Okay,
Nope,
Whoop.
nope, you're going too far.
yeah,
Come back a little more.
do page up or something. Yeah,
That's good.
okay.
The site enjoys a total frontage of approximately 427 feet on Bridgeport Avenue and 208 feet on Cott Street. About 50% of the site frontage extends to a depth of approximately 230 feet, and that's the portion along Cott Street, while the balance of the site has a depth of approximately 80 feet. The northerly portion of the site along Bridgeport Avenue abuts the right-of-way line of Constitution Boulevard North, which is currently under construction. Most of the site rises gradually up from Bridgeport Avenue with a more severe upgrade at the westerly property line. The site is currently improved with a small vacant office building and related parking at the corner of Cott Street and a multifamily residence at 3 Cott Street with its supporting parking. The property is currently owned by Shelton Plaza Realty LLC, the applicant. The applicant proposes to clear the site and construct a 4,000 square foot single-story retail building to be occupied by a single-tenant convenience store, plus 5 gasoline pump islands serving 10 vehicles, covered by a protective canopy to be aesthetically designed to complement the retail store building. The site provides parking for 31 cars, well in excess of that required by the proposed site occupants, and includes 2 handicap spaces and 2 spaces designated as electric vehicle charging stations. A conveniently located service and loading area in support of the store, as well as for gasoline delivery vehicles, is provided. An identical site plan was part of a special exception application that was originally filed and processed, but withdrawn prior to commission action, citing zoning noncompliance issues regarding the convenience store. Access is proposed to and from Bridgeport Avenue, restricted to southbound entry and southbound exit, with an encroachment permit approved by CONDOT. Along the balance of the Bridgeport Avenue frontage, access continues to be restricted by the state. A second site entrance and exit curb cut is proposed from Cott Street. The existing site development is currently served by utilities in Cott Street. The necessary expansion of the total impervious surface area is proposed to be served by a stormwater drainage system that collects all surface runoff. And after cleaning, the water will be discharged into a subsurface infiltration system, with its overflow connected to the drainage system in Bridgeport Avenue. The proposed development does not involve any inland wetlands regulated activities. Referrals were made to the fire marshal and the city engineer. All of their comments must be addressed prior to final plan approvals. Sanitary sewer discharge from the development must be confirmed by the Shelton Water Pollution Control Agency, the WPCA. The application plans submitted for the proposal are entitled Site Development Plan Depicting Shelton Plaza, 265 Bridgeport Avenue and 3 Cott Street, Shelton, Connecticut, prepared for 265 Bridgeport Avenue LLC, dated October 7, 2022, prepared by Redness and Mead, land surveyors and engineers, and architectural plans by Weber and Associates Architects, dated 9/30/2022. A duly noticed public hearing was convened and concluded on November the 16th, 2022. At the public hearing, the only negative comments offered were submitted by Attorney Green on behalf of 99 Bridgeport Avenue LLC, a nearby gas station / convenience store. He represented that, quote, there are significant issues, unquote, in terms of traffic safety, traffic flow, sight lines, et cetera, and requested that the public hearing be kept open. The other three comments expressed support for the proposal. Attorney Thomas, on behalf of the applicant, reminded the commission that the subject proposal was generally consistent with the previously submitted special exception application, the one that was withdrawn in view of the apparent conflicts with the permitted use provisions of the RBD district. He confirmed that the size of the gas station and the convenience store are the same, and that the second floor office space was eliminated. The extensive traffic studies for that earlier proposal are represented as still valid and applicable to the subject proposal, and said reports are incorporated by reference into the subject application, including the peer review and other related information. The applicant's traffic engineer, Mr. Kerman Hua, of KWH Enterprise LLC, provided confirmation relative to the minor reduction in peak hour vehicles trips, and in his professional opinion that, and I quote, Bridgeport Avenue will be able to accommodate these revised trips, end of quote. Attorney Thomas confirmed that ConnDOT has approved the proposed break in the non-access line on Bridgeport Avenue for a right turn in and a right turn out only. The applicant's engineer and his architect confirmed the elimination of the second floor originally proposed for offices and addressed the minor changes made from the previous SC application. During the hearing, the commission expressed serious concern about the number of gasoline pump islands and inquired about the possibility of a reduction from 5 islands to 4 islands, that is 10 pumping stations versus 8. The applicant's engineer indicated a concern about potential vehicular congestion that might ensue with a 20% capacity reduction if there are not enough pumps available, preferring to keep the 10 as proposed. The commission also expressed a concern about the appearance and the aesthetics of the pump island canopy design and inquired about the possibility of revising the site layout by bringing the store building closer to the front of the site on Bridgeport Avenue and moving the pumps to the rear of the site. They also indicated the need for a canopy roof design that is more attractive, with a substantial roof aesthetically more consistent with the convenience store building design. The applicant's representatives indicated a willingness to review alternative site organization and more acceptable design treatments. They confirmed that upon initial approval, significant additional detail will be incorporated on the final detailed site development and architectural plans. Upon completion of all the public and commission comments, the public hearing was closed. After further discussion of the subject PDD proposal and their concerns, the commission chairperson directed staff to prepare a resolution for consideration and possible action. On the basis of the maps, plans, reports, and concerns noted above, the following resolution is offered for consideration and possible action. The resolution. Whereas the applicant has submitted a complete petition, including the initial development concept plan with preliminary architectural designs and engineered site plans, the statement of uses and standards, the SOUS, a traffic update letter, and other supporting material necessary to support the adoption of a PDD to accommodate a gasoline station with 5 pump islands capable of serving 10 vehicles at a time, plus a 4,000 square foot convenience store. Except for the elimination of the second floor office space, said proposal is the same as previously submitted. That application that was withdrawn for technical compliance reasons. By preference, the detailed analysis of anticipated traffic impacts, including the results of the commission mandated peer review of the same, has been incorporated as part of the subject PDD application. And secondly, whereas the commission held and concluded a duly noticed public hearing on November 16, 2022 to consider said petition and application materials and information. And getting myself lost. Okay. And whereas the commission is very familiar with the subject site, the existing development, the relationship to the nearby construction of Constitution Boulevard North, and the applicable zoning regulations, has reviewed in detail the subject proposal, the applicable provisions of the proposed PDD, and all accompanying documents and information related thereto. And subject to the comments set forth above, the commission notes the following findings. First of all, number one, the application complies with all applicable zoning requirements for a PDD, as well as the specific provisions of the subject PDD proposal. Two, all utilities are available in Cott Street and currently serve existing development, and all on-site utilities will be located underground. Three, the existing Cott Street site entrance drives are not adequate for the proposal and projected traffic. They are proposed to be replaced by a single entry exit to and from Cott Street. Bridgeport Avenue is a state highway, and the site frontage is restricted by a non-access line. However, the ConnDOT has approved a break in the non-access line for a curb cut that's limited to southbound access and southbound exit only, as was proposed for the earlier special exception application. Although traffic generation will exceed that generated from prior occupancies of the existing site development, the applicant's traffic analysis, as updated, concluded that it will not overload the street system in the area. Existing utility services are adequate to serve the subject proposal. Stormwater will be collected, treated to remove sediments, etc., and will be detained by an underground storage and infiltration system, with its overflow connected to the state highway storm drainage system in Bridgeport Avenue. Number four, the commission expressed concern over the number of gas pumps and pump islands, resulting in a canopy length in excess of 125 feet. The commission notes that any approval of the subject proposal must require a reduction of the number of pump islands from 5 to 4. In other words, that's a mandate that you're planning to make. But allowing the lengthening of one or more islands to provide stacked pump stations and thereby maintain service capacity. What I was trying to say here is that if the commission wants to reduce the number of pump islands in a row from 5 to 4, you can maintain the capacity if they have the ability to extend the lengths of those islands so as to have 2 pump stations instead of 1 on each side. So that will give them the opportunity to maintain or even increase, if need be, the number of pumps.
But it should be maxed out at 8 pumps.
Well, that depends upon, I'm not sure why you would say that, if they can accommodate the 10 or 12 for that matter.
Well, because if you extend all 4 islands, you could theoretically put 16 pumps there.
Well, theoretically, that remains
much.
to be seen down the road. We have to see what their reaction. You'll see when I read more of this. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it yet, but
okay.
Let's go on and then we'll come back to it. The pump canopy structure needs to be redesigned and provided with a roof treatment that better reflects the retail store building. The canopy roof must be supported by an attractive, substantial column treatment and the appropriate ceiling finishes. In other words, just putting a flat canopy out there or one of these wavy things is not going to be acceptable. Number 5, although the commission understands the potential aesthetic and operational negatives associated with relocating the gas pumps to the rear of the site, the applicant is directed to re-examine the overall site layout in an effort to minimize the visual impact of the gas pumps and canopy. With a mandated reduction in the number of pump islands from 5 to 4, thereby reducing the canopy length, it appears to become feasible to consider alternative site layouts, such as possibly rotating the layout 90 degrees, turning the canopy island so that it parallels Cott Street, and moving the retail store building to the north side of the pump islands. that will work. What we're saying to the applicant in this particular case is, now that the commission has come to a decision that they only want 4 islands, not 5, this does open up some opportunities to re-examine the layout. And with those re-examined layouts, it may be possible to take 1 or 2 of the islands and lengthen them. It doesn't look like it'll fit too comfortably in the current configuration to double the islands, but you can double them if you turn the building by 90, turn everything 90 degrees. So what we're asking them to do is to consider these layouts and come back and let's talk about it. Because once you make a basic zoning decision on your application that's before you, then the door is open for dialogue between the applicant and the commission. And the applicant can come in and sit with us and they can say, look, we've looked at this, here's the pluses and here's the minuses. We can look at this doesn't work, this does work. Or they can even take the approach, well, okay, we'll give up 20% of the capacity of the station and leave the layout as it is. We'll give you a better design to the canopy, but we're going to basically leave the building where it is and the canopy where it is. That may work out too, but we won't know this until we have some dialogue with the applicant. Where was I? Okay. Consider alternative layout. If they are able to do it, it may result in a better exposure of the store building to Bridgeport Avenue, because the store building, again, instead of being hidden behind the pumps, is going to be equally convenient to serve the pumps, but have full exposure to Bridgeport Avenue as well. Appropriate modifications of the architectural elevation treatment facing Bridgeport Avenue can then be incorporated into that view of the building to make it aesthetically more pleasing. So obviously, if the side of the building is going to face Bridgeport Avenue, we want it to be a little more aesthetically pleasing than what it is right now. But that's not a big deal. Number 6, the remaining outstanding concerns of staff, the commission, the city engineer, fire marshal, and the other municipal departments must be addressed prior to the required approval and sign off of final site development plans. So we're still at that conceptual stage. At the preparation of final site development plans, additional design details should include, but are not limited to, the following: A, the specifics of the type of curbing that is concrete, not bituminous. B, the final landscape plan should include appropriate notes to assure minimum survival period and to recognize the commission's rights to request additional supplementary planting if and when deemed necessary. C, details regarding construction and finishes of the proposed retaining walls and the necessary safety fencing. D, the rubbish enclosure details to reflect building materials and to provide and be provided with a passage gate for access. E, the location and design details for proposed ground and building signage. F, the potential modifications of the Bridgeport Avenue curb cut design, if possible, to extend the dividing island into the site to create a median separated entry, obviously subject to CONDOT approval. What we're saying is there's a lot more work that's got to be done. I threw out those few things because a lot of times they don't get addressed and then we throw it in the last minute. They got to go back and make more changes. So I'm warning them up front, those detailed plans better address these areas, and they realize that. Now, therefore, on the basis of the above, the representations made at the public hearings and other discussions of the commission, the Shelton Planning and Zoning hereby takes the following action. In accordance with the provisions of Section 34 of the Shelton Zoning Regulations, the subject initial site development plan is hereby conditionally approved, subject to the following: A, modification and revisions as needed in response to all the concerns noted above, with specific reference to a reduction to 4 pump islands. That's the mandated part of your action. You're mandating a reduction to 4 pump islands. But you're also indicating possible layout modifications and any additional outstanding concerns of the commission and its staff. So we're saying we're all we've done is taken off one of the pump islands, 2 sets of pumps, 2 sets of service locations, and we then want them to go back and investigate what this might open up to them in terms of a better layout that's more satisfactory to them as well as to us. We want to give them the ability to maintain the capacity that they are currently proposing so that they can't come back afterwards and say that we're taking away capacity from the station. We're saying we're going to allow you to keep the same capacity by taking this other approach. So again, we're at the concept level, so we need to get that reorganized, or if necessary, go ahead with what we've got. And if they're willing to say, okay, we're going to accept the reduction in capacity, so be it. But we're trying to be as flexible as we can with them. Where was I? The applicant is directed. Now, this is a direction in your resolution. The applicant is directed to investigate and prepare one or more alternative site layouts of building and gas pumps limited to 4 pump islands, 1 or 2 of which may be lengthened to accommodate additional pump stations. The proposed pump island canopy design alternatives shall also be prepared. These potential modifications of the initial site development plan must be reviewed with the commission and staff for commission approval prior to the preparation of the final site development plans. Okay, does everybody understand what we're saying here?
Mhm.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but it seems, I just want a clarification. So then they would come back to us in a public setting?
No.
No,
And they would come back to all of us. They would come back to some commissioners, some staff. I'm not.
Actually, it will be brought back before the commission, because the commission will have to take an action that says, yes, we're in agreement with this alternative layout.
They would be
And-
submitting final detailed development plans, wouldn't they?
Well, I don't think we should send them on to do detailed development plans if they're not sure that the commission is going to approve that layout.
Right, well, that's what I'm talking about, is what is the mechanism that they use to present any revisions to us?
What they would do, I would hope, is take a look at what we said. They'll probably want to talk to us about it. They may want to have a work session with just a couple of the commissioners, but ultimately we're going to place a potentially modified initial site development plan in front of the commission and ask for the commission's blessing.
Okay, and that's how it would be on the agenda as a modification.
It'll be on the agenda in that manner, yes.
Okay.
That's not a commitment to the final approval, but at least it gives them the green light to spend the money to do the detailed site work and planning, knowing that it's now only a matter of dotting the i's and crossing the t's, getting the engineering done correctly, getting the details handled correctly, getting the WPCA correctly, any of those issues, fire marshal's concerns, city engineers' concerns, get them all addressed. And then it'll be put up for final action by the commission and endorsement of the plans. But until that happens, they're at least the first stage, at least the zoning aspect is out of the way.
Yeah, so we're kind of approving the use.
Yes, you're approving the use with the limit of 4 islands.
Yeah,
Okay,
and then they have to come back to the whole commission with these not say the final plans, but the modified plans
right,
according to this resolution,
right.
right? And so the expansion of I can understand why they would be concerned about reducing the capacity and then adding overflow traffic onto the streets. If that's what their concern is. Pumping.
It may be, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
there's much smaller gas stations, such as the one on Shelton Avenue that only has 1 island but it has 4 pumps.
Yeah,
So 4 cars can pump and there's never any traffic out on the road as a result of that. So,
Yeah, you got to understand, this is going to be a very active station. At least they're hoping for it.
well, so
When-
is
when-
so
when
is
you
the one
think-
on Shelton Avenue.
Yes, but what I was bringing out was the fact that they're going to be right around the corner from the intersection with Constitution Boulevard. And Constitution Boulevard at that point is going to be serving the Moss property and all the proposed future development of the Moss property.
Yeah,
And those people going home at night decide they need gas, they'll be able to pull in the station, get their gas, pull out, go up to the ramp and get on the highway.
Well,
Yeah.
unless it's really cheap gas like Costco, I don't see anybody waiting 3 or 4 cars deep to get gas when there's other options available.
That's quite possible. But will they know that until they pull on the site?
well, let's say, all right, so we.
You're
if
not
we-
gonna be able to see that all four pump islands, all 8 cars.
Yeah, no, I don't
are there.
I have no issue with them extending, but I don't want to see 16 pumps there either.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
that's the advantage of bringing that concept plan back.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's a shorter canopy, which is part of what we were hoping for.
Mhm.
And it looks like that from a practical point of view, it would probably end up being 2, 4, 6, 8 pumps.
Right.
Tops.
And that's fine. That's fine. That's what they originally proposed. So,
No, they had,
well, they proposed 10, right?
Yeah.
we will be, that would even be giving them a potentially larger capacity theoretically. Which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't think the commission will have a problem with it.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see, where did we leave off? I think we left, okay.
B.
The last
got
sentence was
B.
A.
B, I think.
We finished A, didn't we?
Yes, we gotta
Okay.
go to B.
Yes, okay. B, no permits shall be issued for any site work or building construction prior to the submission and approval of final site development plans. Said final plans must be submitted for commission review and approval on or before, and I picked the date at the end of the year. They shouldn't need that, but in the past, I've been a little remiss with some of our PDDs with not putting outside dates by which they have to do their final plans. So I thought I would stick it in there. And that date could be extended by the commission at the request of the applicant if there's some particularly good cause for it. C, modification and revision will be necessary to the statement of uses and standards to correct some map naming and terminology that's cited in paragraph 12, but relatively simple. No substantial changes, just getting the right names on the right maps. And then D is full satisfaction of all final comments and concerns of the city engineer, the fire marshal, WPCA, local traffic authority, and other applicable municipal commissions. So everybody has to be satisfied before you sign off your final plans. On the basis of this conditional approval, of the initial development plan, subject to the stipulations and conditions set forth above, the subject PDD is hereby adopted for the reasons found in the discussions preceding the motion and shall be identified as PDD number, and I don't know what the current number is. Oh, I see somebody put it in 103. And it would become effective, and I left the effective date open because I didn't know what the timing was going to be of publishing the notice, whether the 20th would work or the 27th. Okay, so we're going to use the 27th then. Okay. That'll give us a few days to work with Attorney Thomas and clean up the statement of uses and standards for some very minor things.
Okay. All right, is there any other questions or comments for Mr. Panico? Okay, hearing none, is there a commissioner who would like to move the resolution?
Commissioner Parkins will move it.
Is there a commissioner who would like to second?
Commissioner Kelly, I will second it.
Okay, so on the motion, the resolution was moved by Commissioner Parkins and second by Commissioner Kelly. Any further discussion? If not, I'll do a roll call vote to approve application 2224. Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye,
Commissioner Onofrio,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. The motion has passed by a vote of 6-0. And I do want to note, make sure it is in the record that all commissioners here this evening were eligible to vote because they were either present at the meetings at the November 16th meeting, and they and in one case Commissioner Kelly was not, but he upon questioning he
I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And, you know, before we leave this, I just want to make sure that the commissioners are completely understandable of what the final plan could be. It could simply be leaving the layout as it is and just taking one of those pump islands off. And it could be an entirely different reorganization of the site. So are we clear on that?
Yeah, the only constant would be the number of pumps.
Yes, not the number of pumps, the number of pump islands.
Another pump island,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Panico? All right, so the motion is passed by a vote of 6-0, and this particular agenda item is done. All right, next thing on the agenda is the public portion. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on an item that is not on the agenda? Please use Zoom's raise your hand feature or dial *9 on your phone. Okay. Mr. Rossetti or Ms. Castro, is there anyone that's indicating from the public they would like to make a comment to the commission?
No.
Nope. Okay. Yes, one more time. If there's anyone from the public who'd like to address the commission on an item not on the agenda, please use Zoom's raise your hand feature or dial *9 on your phone. Okay. Let's move on then to other business. The first is a request to reduce the soil and erosion control bond for the Nichols Place subdivision from $55,000 to $25,000. Staff, any comments about this request?
The project, as some of you may have seen, is finished up. The applicant asked for a bond release. Myself and the city engineer aren't quite ready to do that. We'd like to wait until the springtime and see how the planting season does and make sure everything takes place. And if it does, grass grows back, everything is revegetated, then we'll be back before you shortly, but we just wanted to keep a little money in the fund.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Rossetti?
No.
So you're recommending to keep 25,000 in the fund? Is that what you're?
Mhm.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, instead of a full release, it's just a reduction. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the reduction of the bond from 55,000 to 25,000?
I'll make that motion, Commissioner Kelly.
Okay, and is there a second?
A second, Commissioner Matto.
Thank you. So on the motion to approve the request to reduce the bond, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Perkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Onofrio,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion has been approved by a vote of 6-0. Next are comments from the chair and subcommittee chairpersons. There are no comments from the chair at this time. Commissioner Motto, you have any comments from the zoning subcommittee?
Just the only thing is we're trying to make our meeting, our subcommittee meeting on a regular schedule, which would be the Thursday at 5:30 before the regular meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the staff would have to make sure that everything is in for consideration. That might be on the agenda for consideration the Thursday before the
First meeting of the month.
the regular meeting of the month. Okay. Commissioner Kelly, do you have any comments?
None at this time.
Okay. And next is agenda item of staff comments. Mr. Rossetti, what's your update about the affordable housing plan?
We're gonna get that before you shortly. I gotta meet with the chair and a few of you, hopefully the next week or so, and then we'll all have a big, long discussion about where we want to take this. I did have one other staff comment, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
Just kind of wanted to approach the subject of lawn equipment and just get a feel from you guys. I'm sure we've all been outside 5 o'clock on a nice Saturday, Sunday afternoon, and neighbor decides to blow all the leaves off the lawn or start mowing 5 acres or whatever it is. There has been some discussion about having a regulation or ordinance drafted to curtail some of the hours of lawn equipment on weekends.
Have there
we've
been
had-
formal complaints made?
Yes,
How many?
too many. And
That's not
they are,
so mean.
Come on, two could be too many, but,
no, it's,
you know, what is?
it's some of them are a nuisance. A lot of them are neighbors saying that they're running a commercial activity or quasi-commercial activity, and they're splitting wood or cutting wood or doing this or selling this on the side.
But that's a different operation, somebody blowing leaves or cutting grass.
I
Yeah,
know.
but it's a consideration too, just like we have a
So-
noise ordinance.
Correct. I just
So-
wanted to hear your appetite. Obviously, this would also have to go before the Board of Aldermen. But before we spend, there are, by the way, there are many, many towns that have acted on this, and the most recent one near us was Westport. And their
yeah.
Board of Selectmen passed, I think, 22-6 or 21-6. The goal is not to get rid of lawn equipment or ban lawn equipment. We're not trying to do that. It would be something to the effect of no lawn equipment being operated before 9 a.m. Saturday, Sunday, and nothing after 4 or 5 p.m. on a Saturday or Sunday.
Well, it's something that could be considered, but I like,
I think we need a little more
as well.
information.
Yeah, I'd like to hear have specific documentation as to how many people have been complaining about this, what parts of town. I don't want a blanket something, because not all parts of town would be engaging in this kind of activity. So,
Where I thought you were headed was either Westport or Fairfield that just passed a ban on gas-powered blowers.
Westport,
That was Westport.
Westport?
yeah.
mhm.
But we're no Westport though. That's the biggest problem.
We get a lot of calls, like I can promise you, and I don't have numbers for phone calls. Like I can't quote. We get 200 calls a year.
Well, you
but-
certainly can write down on a list as to date, time, and the neighborhood that's complaining. You don't
Yeah,
have,
Well, a lot of people complain on Facebook, and then when they ask the question what the noise ordinance is, they're told what the noise ordinance is, and it doesn't apply to, it
Mhm.
doesn't help them at all.
Correct. The
Hmm.
So
noise
they don't
ordinance
complain.
Is generally very, it's not lax, it's very open. You know, you can start construction at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the decibel allowance is quite loud. I think most of us would be surprised with that.
I think it's going to be really hard to enforce.
I
So-
do too.
The enforcement part of it is definitely another conversation. I'm just trying to get a general sense of appetite for, would this be open for discussion, or would you guys say not worth our time? Let's get back to other things.
I think my opinion is at this time, it's not worth it because we have so much other things to consider that this would just be kind of on the bottom of the pile. It annoys me, trust me. I have a neighbor that does it on Friday mornings when I work from home, and it 2 hours for probably a half acre of land that the blower is going. So I can appreciate people's frustration with it, especially on weekends when you're trying to, enjoy your time on your patio or whatever outdoors. But I think it's going to be very hard to enforce. And at this time, I just don't think it's worth our effort. That's my opinion.
I never heard another leaf blower. I'd be just fine with that, but it would extend to a lot of noisy things like ATVs, and I have neighbors, kids all have motorized vehicles, and they're revving them up all the time and running up and down the streets, very noisy. So I don't know where you would begin or end with this kind of noise question.
Mhm.
As Commissioner Laskos, I'm just not a fan of additional ordinances going on in our town. So
Mhm.
I think that's a conversation between neighbors that people can step up and just be a neighbor. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Mm,
I'd be a little reluctant to have such overreach unless there is specific documentation and there can be proof shown that it is in violation of the noise ordinance that we already have, and there's a mechanism to address something following the noise ordinance.
They're not in violation of the noise ordinance. That is the problem, is that people are doing these activities at 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday. And people are furious and they say they go talk to them and they get the middle finger, or they say they,
Yeah.
ask them to turn it down and they get yelled at. So
Well,
I-
it's all the
Um,
way you say it, so.
all due respect to what Peter's saying, I understand that, but yeah, I think people are hesitant to have any kind of unpleasant discussion with anybody.
Confrontation, yeah.
Sure, I can see that side too.
So I think you were saying, Alex, though, that this would be an alderman issue,
it may be both.
direct people to the alderman.
I would pass that to the alderman.
It
I-
would be better
As
as a-
Commissioner Parkins says, I just think we have too much on our plate to worry about the noise.
Fair enough. Just
Mr. Panico, what were you going to say?
No, I was just, in my estimation, it really ought to be a city ordinance if it's going to be regulated, not under the zoning regulations.
I agree there.
Correct.
Yeah, the tricky thing there is with the noise ordinance. I'm sure you guys know the people who are in charge of enforcing the noise ordinance are 1, the zoning office, 2, the police. So it's kind of a tandem thing that we would have to collaborate on, but.
Well, I
for now,
can't,
we'll-
I
we'll
can't
set-
see wasting police resources to go stop a neighbor from mowing their lawn at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Well, when
I
they file a
agree.
noise complaint, City Hall is closed at that time, so it goes to police.
Got it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Work
it is
with
an
them.
unfortunate situation, but
They've helped us on the weekends, when they're on shift, when we have these noise complaints and neighbor complaints about smells and sounds and all this.
Well,
We can, they're very courteous and help us go take some pictures or do a drive-by and let us know what they see or so.
Mhm. Yeah, I
That's it.
think we gotta watch just how far along we're willing to go with this. I mean, it's the winter time. Who's blowing leaves or cutting lawn now? But when it snows, we have snow plows. Are we gonna do something where, sorry, but you can't have your driveway plowed at 2 o'clock in the morning because it's noisy when the snowplow comes? It's
and if you have a small lot and your neighbor is broiling something on the grill and the smoke's blowing your way, what are you supposed to do about it?
the way it goes.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get complaints about grilling.
Yeah,
No, but wasn't there a complaint about a certain resident that had some kind of operation in his yard that the odors were bothering the neighbor?
Yep, it's a maple syrup
Yes. And that's-
manufacturing facility, and they got plumes of smoke that go about.
It's not too many years ago that I remember we got complaints also from people that moved in on lots that are adjacent to a farm. And when they spread their manure and fertilizers around, they didn't like it, but the farm was there before they moved in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So
I agree.
So,
just got to use
Yeah.
common sense.
well,
yeah, it's one of those nuisances that it's very unfortunate that some people just aren't really cognizant of other people's enjoying peace and quiet, but that's the nature of human beings, so
Yeah.
what's peace and quiet to one person is not necessarily to another person.
true.
So,
Close your
Um,
windows, turn on the air, turn
so
up the music.
Mr. Rossetti, if we could just, I would just like to request that staff start just documenting things, and then if it becomes an overwhelming issue, then we could revisit it, but no, I don't see a need to do so.
And or recommend the complaints to the Board of Aldermen.
Mhm. Absolutely. Okay,
Happy to
anything,
pass that one along.
anything further, Mr. Rossetti?
That's it for now. Thanks.
Okay, and just dropping back to the affordable housing, Mr. Rossetti and I were scheduled to meet last Friday, but we had a little personal family incident happen, so I had to cancel that, but we are scheduled to meet this Friday. Ms. Castro, do you have any comments for the commission?
No, I don't, not at this point.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Panico. And Ms. Castro, how about you? Do you have any comments?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes. Does anyone have any comments or changes for the November 30th minutes?
I do not make a
Okay.
motion to approve the minutes of November 30th unless the chair has changes.
No, there was just some stylistic things that I'll go over with our secretary. So,
I'll second that.
okay, so there's a motion to approve the November 30th minutes by Commissioner Parkins, seconded by Commissioner Kelly. On roll call to approve, Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Onofrio,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion to approve passed 6-0. How about the December 13th minutes? Does anybody have any comments or changes?
I only have one comment on page 3 under item B. On the third paragraph, second and third sentence, it states, and to make it unattractive for the building. It should not read not making it an attractive building. It was to take away, we thought that the lesser pumps would make the building more attractive rather than the building being unattractive.
Okay, I see that sentence. It says the commissioners discussed application 2224 and Commissioner Parkins said, and how should it read? My biggest concern is that there are too many pumps there and it's making it
Unattractive for the building.
making it unattractive for the building?
Right. So in other words, we're trying to make
Oh, yeah. I get it.
building the focus point, and it's making it unattractive to do that.
Okay, got it.
I don't remember what my exact words were, but that was the gist of what I was trying to say. Not that the building was unattractive.
Right. Okay. So, any other changes for the minutes? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the December 13th minutes with changes just submitted by Commissioner Parkins?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Commissioner Amato is making the motion. Is there a second?
Commissioner Parkins will second.
Okay, so on the motion to approve the December 13th minutes with the changes, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
Commissioner Onofrio,
I'd like to abstain if that's okay. I wasn't at that meeting, Ms. Harger.
that's fine. Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos.
I also will abstain. I was absent that meeting.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion to approve December 13th minutes has been passed by a vote of 4-0-2. Okay, seeing that there's no other item on the agenda, the chair declares this evening's meeting is adjourned as of 7:50 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock for our first special meeting.